Hello, Vlogalogue. I've been using my phone to film for like the last couple months, and turns out that it's actually less effort to use my DSLR because of freaking frame rates with the iPhone camera. It's so stupid. It's like, you know what would be a good frame rate? 25.18 frames per second. That's smart. Oh, and then there's another clip for you. How about that's just a completely different frame rate? Screw you, Apple. I mean, screw you, mobile phone made by Apple. Yeah. So words, right? Let me think of a word. Actually, I already thought of one. That was me stalling. I don't like the word actually. Not because it's really a bad word. I mean, it has its point, I guess, but people who use it tend to be pretty obnoxious. There's a time in my life when just someone saying the word actually was just like a red flag, and it's like, I don't like you. Because I mean, when it comes right down to it, even if they don't mean it to be that way, it's essentially probably the most pretentious word I know of. It's just someone flat out saying, okay, yeah, but you're wrong, I'm right, let me tell you why. And that just always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I just hate that, man. Ah, God. I don't mind it as much anymore, but when Alex was like, what's a word you don't like? That was one of the first to come to mind, because dang, that annoys me. And the funny thing is, I use it too sometimes. I try not to use it very much, but I do, nonetheless. But yeah, I don't like it because it just sounds really pretentious. I don't like when people assume that they know anything definitively. I feel like I make an effort to make sure that people understand that I'm not asserting something as an absolute when I'm talking, and it bugs me when people don't give me the same courtesy, because I'm aware that I'm very likely to be wrong with basically anything I say. In fact, there are some things that, like, no, that tangent isn't really relevant. I just don't like when people assume that they're right. I don't like when I'm in an argument with someone who either knows the same amount as me or possibly less, and I say something like, but I could be wrong, yada yada yada, at the end of my sentence, because I don't want them to think. I don't even know if it's I don't want them to think I'm pretentious. I just want it to be clear that I'm open to alternative ideas, and then they say something based on likely less information, and they just say, well, yeah, but that's wrong. That bugs me. It kind of like a throwback to this conversation when I was really little. My neighbor was insisting that lightning came after thunder, and I was like, no, that's not how it is. But she insisted. I believe she started crying, or something. It blew up way out of proportion, because I was like, no, lightning, then thunder, because sound and light. And she was like, no, screw you. We were like 6. She didn't say screw you. And it just really bugs me when people believe that they know something definitively when they don't really have the requisite knowledge for it. Even when they do have the knowledge, I would prefer if they left it open to discussion, but especially when someone really doesn't know what they're talking about. And that's why I hate when people say actually, because it's just like, you could be so much less pretentious and still communicate your ideas, and yet they feel the need to say actually. Also, I kind of want to talk about what Kevin was saying about oh goodness, I watched these videos this morning, and I forgot what I was gonna say. Crap. Let me think. Okay, so Kevin mentioned that one of the rationales behind keeping the English language from changing is that then you'll be able to maximize the amount of people who will be able to understand any given thing. And that I don't really have anything to counter or add to that, but that just reminded me of something that I find kind of interesting about words. That even if words don't necessarily change, that just having a different or larger vocabulary than someone can make a really big difference in communication. I have Okay, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I do have a vocabulary that is more, okay, I can't think of the word, which is fun. I guess more extensive. That's probably wrong. Now that I'm saying that I have an okay vocabulary, I feel really self-conscious about my word choice. I use words in normal conversation that most of my peers don't. And because of that, I think I come off as a little bit pretentious. And there are some people, some of my peers, who I actually confuse. And they have trouble communicating with me because, like, if I'm texting them or something, or talking to them, they have to either ask me or look up the word I'm saying. And that's a little weird to me because I don't really actually have that big a vocabulary, just kind of, average. But it's interesting how it's not just words changing that limits who can understand something, but it just really comes back to knowing your audience. And again, this is a total tangent off of Kevin's much more relevant tangent. I just find it really funny that even though the English language is a set thing, that really, if you want to communicate something, you have to design it specifically for your audience. And if you're trying to tell something to a very diverse group, you're gonna have a lot of trouble. And I just find that to be hilarious. Not hilarious, interesting, I guess. Considering we all speak the same language. But yeah, communication is a funny thing, and it's really funny how the same words, just like the same actions, can mean different things to different people. And that's a tangent. But yeah, actually is a jerk word. And I probably say it sometimes.